This morning, a new exclusive poll from Inside California Politics and Emerson College shows Republican Steve Hilton and Democrat Eric Swalwell have gained momentum in the crowded 2026 race for governor. Still close. KTLA's Eitan Wallace braving the cold in Sacramento this morning with a look at the results. Eitan, good morning.
Hey, Frank, good morning to you and everybody in Southern California. And indeed, yeah, this poll shows that this race is close, and it also shows with just over 3 months until the June 2nd primary, well, a whole lot of Californians say they are still undecided. It's the big question California voters will answer this year. Who should become California's next governor when Gavin Newsom is termed out? In this exclusive Inside California Politics and Emerson College poll surveying 1,000 registered California voters, Republican former Fox News host Steve Hilton leads with just over 17%. Bay Area Democratic Congressmember Eric Swalwell is in second with a little over 14%, followed by Riverside County Sheriff Republican Chad Bianco, about half a point behind. Democratic former Orange County Congressmember Katie Porter is in fourth, and rounding out the top five, billionaire businessman and climate activist Tom Steyer. Bring it on. He's seen the biggest gains since December after pouring more than $27 million of his own money into the race.
He's really effectively doubled his vote share.
Matt Taglia helped conduct the poll. He says with more than 100 days left to go until the June 2nd primary, the race is far from over.
Absolutely not a given.
Especially because the poll found more than 21% of respondents say they are undecided.
This thing is really wide open.
Political analyst Matt Clinch says as for the Democrats in the race, Swalwell has seen momentum and gains, while it's been a tougher ride for Porter. He believes she'll need to work aggressively to win over the uncommitted.
Right now, her likability factor is not very high. And that's a big problem for her that she's certainly not fixed yet.
Among those not in the top five, newcomer candidate, Democratic San Jose Mayor Matt Mahan.
Maybe just because he got in late, but the enthusiasm for his candidacy is not translating right now into votes.
All of it in a state where the top two in the June 2nd primary will advance to the November general election. Do you think there is a real scenario here where we end up with a Republican versus Republican in the top two?
It is mathematically possible that you could have two Republicans finish 1 and 2 in the primary. That being said, I think that the political brains in the Democratic Party will get involved and say, we need to make sure we get one of our candidates into the runoff, because whomever that candidate is, he or she will likely win the general election. So it could happen, but just because it could doesn't mean it will.
And this survey also went beyond just the governor's race. It included results about Governor Gavin Newsom's approval rating and even how many Californians have considered leaving California over, you guessed it, affordability. All that and more on our website, ktla.com. We're live here at the state capitol. Eitan Wallace, KTLA 5 News.
After my accident, I couldn't stop shaking. Everyone
Undecided. It's the big question California voters will answer this year. Who should become California's next governor when Gavin Newsom is termed out? In this exclusive Inside California Politics and Emerson College poll surveying one.
Okay, here we've got something I'm going to talk about right here. You're with Michael Crosby. I'm a candidate for governor. Now, I've had a lot of sites set up. I'm going to show a whole lot of evidence. I've got a whole lot of evidence put out there, more than 1,200 starting website domains were reserved and in the process of construction when I came under attack during COVID. Okay, 8 different locations, multiple sequences, simultaneous attacks, people shooting at me. So there's a lot of people wondering why I don't have a nice, wonderful image of my face with the suit and all that other stuff. Well, there are good reasons for it, okay? People started doxing me. We started finding people sending images of vehicles, of locations, of me on the web, okay? It became a RICO situation, And it became a huge problem, a very big problem. When you have law enforcement officers telling you different things, I'm going to tell you, it's changed over the years. It's changed. Because some of them are saying, look, this is a family problem for us. It's very hard. We cannot move forward with investigations. They are afraid. They are afraid. You know, it's, to tell you the truth, it is a miracle. It is a miracle that you have somebody like Chad Bianco step up and say what he's saying. I mean, I don't think people understand the gravity of somebody actually standing up that is in law enforcement saying finally what he's actually saying. That is a big, huge difference. I'm telling you, we're talking night and day here. Okay, we're talking quantum leap here. You know, I'm going to throw that out as a bone there as far as Chad's concerned, you know. But I am going to tell you, there's some other things. Let me go through this chart real quick here. Okay, Steve Hilton, okay. The reason that he's looking the way he's looking at the moment is simple. Everybody looks at him and hears, oh, he's a multi-billionaire dude. That means he has enough money to run his own election. I don't have to throw a lot of peanuts at him. Now, what does that actually say truthfully? Because you can try to make excuses and say, well, I think he's really qualified because he's ran a business. Okay, he's ran a business. Okay, I've run a business. Okay, he's ran a business and he seems to be successful. Okay, that's to some people are saying, okay, those are really, really big points. And again, let's mention it one more time. He's been really, really successful. So everybody, be honest with yourself and tell the truth about why you are looking at him as a candidate, because you think he's more, that he's got a deeper character, that somehow his brain is working better than everyone else's. Is that it? Is that the truth? You know, the money. Well, he's got money no matter what, right? Right? He can run his own campaign, and we wouldn't be wasting our time. He won't run out of money. He can keep pulling it out of his pocket. Okay, come on, people, be honest here. Be honest here, because when we're stepping down and looking at the other candidates here, a lot of you are thinking about the money factor. Don't tell me you're not. Don't tell me you're not. Instead, take a poll yourself. Come on, take a poll yourself. Tell the truth. Go out there, poll it up, and tell me how many people fall into the category of what I've just been talking about who we think has the money and can pull it off, because money's involved. Come on, be honest about it. Be honest. What we're looking at, people, look how many candidates we got out there. And I'm telling you right now, my name ain't up there. Why isn't it up there? State's blacklisting me. Okay, how bad is it? It's called treason. Okay, it starts with a T. Okay, no joke. If you ain't looking at my stuff and seeing the windows knocked out of vehicles, okay, if you don't see and understand that I've had more than 600 pounds of glass hit the ground from the vehicle windows that have been knocked out of my fleet, you need to add up the math again. You need to understand about the violence, okay? Because I'm going to tell you stuff right now, okay? I worked on my first SAR, synthetic aperture radar reading system, way back, like 1998, before 2000, okay? And I worked with them in my lab shortly after 2000 in Arkansas, okay? Very important, very important. Again, I was setting up the SAR, synthetic aperture radar, to start tracing down the people, the people that were attacking my equipment, okay? My nonprofit mobile archive system with the ultra advanced AI system, the most powerful tooling ever brought forward to be unleashed right into voters' hands, and I come under incredible numbers of violent attack. Okay, people, look, wake up. Wake up. Okay, this is not a coincidence. Okay, We have rebellion in this country on a scale we haven't seen for well over 100 years. I'm telling you. And with my campaign, I've had people attack that were illegal aliens. Okay, that means they're invaders. Okay, so we have people in rebellion not doing their job. Okay, we have people that already have been in rebellion and have obtained furthering of their position in government. Okay, that means insurrection. So all three factors are active against my campaign. Let's look at these numbers some more here. Okay, Katie Porter. Some people don't like Katie Porter because they think that she's a beep. Okay, and other people say, well, she's not going to be able to get business money because she'll go viciously after different businesses. Okay. I'm seeing this. Does she have enough diversification in her history? She has focused on a whole lot of stuff related to what? Okay. Some people go, oh, she's more like, managing your wallet and going after some companies that might have done some bad stuff. You don't see her as diversified, do you? Tell the truth. You don't see her as diversified. So she isn't even into double digits yet. Okay? And this is part of what people are seeing this way. Now, who else we got here? We got Eric Swalwell. Okay? Eric Swalwell. Now, I put it to you. I put it to you right now. Okay? How many of those points that he has are solely connected to him bashing Trump? Just straight out, connected to him bashing Trump. I ask you, all those people voting for him, are those people that want to bash Trump? I mean, that's like their whole thing in life. This is the one guy that's going to stand up to Trump, and I'm going to say, excuse me. Just a moment. Excuse me, right or wrong, excuse me. What does that have to do with the governor's race in California? Because California is broken. Chad said it. I've been saying it. I've been saying it in election after election, okay? I have evidence to put people in prison. Okay, I won't tolerate any beep from people, okay? I have my policy. Do you know who I am? Have you ever heard of me? My policy, a 24-hour, never shuts down complaint system that is monitored by people. Anybody saying they're getting harassed, anybody saying that they've been cheated by somebody in government, I will not tolerate it. I will come down so fast, it's mind-boggling. Because I want to clean up the whole state. I want to repair it. I know a lot of stuff. I've been studying and working with mass models for better than 25 years. Now, if you've never played a real-time strategy, an RTS, okay, game, if you don't, did you play a first-person shooter? Bang, bang, let's shoot at each other. Okay, let me tell you the truth. I love first-person shooters. Okay, look, I love that. Okay, those are great. Now, RTS, real-time strategy. If you haven't done it, you know somebody who has. Now, find a way to take a few hours out and try to learn how to play Sid 5 or one of these real-time strategy games, okay? Because you have to model your economy. You have to do all this stuff. I don't know. Did you think SimCity was like boring maybe? Okay? Sit down, S up. I'm telling you, this is about your wallet. Now, I'm the guy who wants to bring you at least $10 million to your wallet. Let me do you a favor. Would you please sit down and listen? Because guys like me have spent an awful lot of time researching this. Okay, I'm a mass modeler. When I design something and I test it in a mainframe AI system and it comes back and says, I've designed the best economy in the history of the world. Are any of these other people stepping up to the plate and saying that they did anything close to that? No, they're not. Okay? You think that maybe, well, have I been in business? I've been running nonprofits and some for-profits my whole life. My whole life, okay? Let me talk about gun in face problem. You people think you got it bad going through life? Tell the truth. Tell the truth, okay? Because 2 out of 5 people have told me, I can't help you with what you're doing because you're too hot, Mike. You're too damn hot. And you know what? That would be dangerous for me and my family. So, you know what that means? That means you're somebody who's too afraid to put a like on my stuff if you see it. Because you're afraid that you'll end up on a list and somebody in government is going to sort it and come after you and maybe give you a hard time. And it only gets reinforced when you see me show things where, look, see what happens to my cell phones? Look how many cell phones I got, and they come under attack. And it keeps happening. I just had 2 more of them get hit yet again. Okay, look, I understand you're going through life. You want the path of least resistance. All right. But you need to sit down, you need to pay attention, you need to listen. You don't think that I haven't spent time researching this stuff, modeling it out, testing it again and again, putting it into OpenAI, talking with Grok? You don't think that I've used some of the most powerful computers in the world? Yes, I have. Some of my work is classified. Very, very classified. When I have times where I write a paper up, and guess what? I have to ask the government whether it'll be okay for me to publish it. Because I might have something so good I could win a Nobel Prize for it. In fact, technically, I had the Nobel laureate specifically ask me for a full paper. They saw a short that I did. They went out of the way to communicate with me, and they asked me. They asked me to submit a full paper immediately. They thought I was very, very exciting. In fact, the truth of the matter is, they pulled it. The category that I was going to submit in, I told them no, the government doesn't want to allow me to submit it. You know what happened? They pulled the category. They didn't issue a Nobel that year in that category. And when the media asked them, why didn't you issue a Nobel in this category? They says, well, no publicly published author is exciting enough in our view to issue a Nobel in this category this year. People, you need to sit down. You need to listen, okay? Because some of us are risking our lives. And some of these people on the list, guess what they have money for? They have money for their own security, okay? And people in government usually get nice special stuff. They get synthetic aperture radar, looking from outer space, seeing a blade of grass, and they've got operators. They've got all this nice radiographic stuff, and they're linked with all this other super security stuff. So they got really neat computers. It's just amazing. Now tell me it isn't a miracle that they can be at these people's houses in 30 seconds. Okay? If they don't already have their own security. See, that's why a lot of you want to vote for Hilton. You're like, oh, well, Hilton, yeah, he's got to have 30, 40 guys with guns around him at all times. And, well, hey, Chad, Chad's got thousands of dudes, He's got a radio. He just goes click, click. Here's my locale. Get here. He's got an army, right? Right? Chad's got an army. Who's going to want to go after Chad? Big dummy, maybe. I don't know. So sit down, and I want to tell you, if you haven't listened to my other stuff, you need to do it. You need to do it, okay? Because when I get people shooting at me, you should at least have the decency to take a little bit of time out and at least listen and look at the material that I'm putting out, okay? Because I don't think it's fun when I'm trying to deal with the fleet okay, and I'm walking from my truck over to the RV, and this bullet goes right by my ear. I'm not having a good time. When it goes by and a little tiny piece of my hair spins up, I'm not enjoying myself, okay? I'm not enjoying. And when people start sending images in social media and people start doxing me, let me explain to you, I'm not having a good time. And when I have to listen to people like Julie Sue tell me and 1.2 million other people in California that there's no money available for English speaking people, but they got a whole lot of money for people go hablo no English. Okay, over $31 billion in fraud connected to her, and it's way more than that. Now, I've got people that have confided in me. I did a lot of investigating. There are people who are afraid, people. They are afraid because they think somebody might hurt them or their family, okay? And when you look at my stuff and you go, how come an attorney won't do anything for this guy? Let me tell you, I've been permanently listed up with the state bar asking for someone to step up, and all I keep hearing is you got 60 or 90 grand cash up front. And I'm like, wow, you too lazy to put in paperwork to go for till taps right away or file for emergency procedure reimbursement? These things are available. Okay, but when I try to do them, the judges are saying, oh, well, we don't know. Oh, you have to drop all the criminal charges or we won't handle the case. No, I don't have to drop anything. In fact, it's unconstitutional. If you read the Constitution, you read the articles, you read the law, I cannot withdraw. I cannot move forward when I have seen people commit treason, major felonies. I am obligated to move forward, especially when there are people already sitting in government. Now, people, please sit down, take your time. I got about 30 hours worth of stuff that I've recently posted, and you need to find it. You need to watch it, okay? Because I want to show you how much they're stealing from you. Because I've run the mass model numbers, and I'm telling you, you have no idea how these people have been burning you. And you need to listen to people like me explain how it's supposed to actually work, how we can completely eliminate taxes, make everybody's labor bankable again, use Christ the Carpenter style philosophies to continuously build at least one home each year, 7 years in a row. How to make you stable, how to get you stable, how to get you direct access to the Treasury. Because if you go back and you read, direct access to the Treasury was mandatory. It's part of the original contracts. We're on Constitution number 5, people. Number 5, okay? And the 5th one was fashioned together because of certain people in the South. Now, we know how that ended up going, okay? What happened? The Democratic Party withdrew. They seceded from the Union, and then they attacked. They declared war. Then a bunch of them repatriated, and they swore that they would never attack America again and that they would never attack the Constitution again. California DNC, it's horrible. What an embarrassment. What an embarrassment that the DNC in California keeps repeatedly attacking the Constitution of the United States. We're going to remove the letter S. The letter S from the word arms. It's a 4-lettered word, and they're going to remove the letter S. And all of a sudden, you're going to hear a bunch of people try to stand up, and it's like, excuse me, how many of you went to college? How many of you passed the state bar? Now, you're going to tell me for 1 minute, if I put you on the stand, and I say, what's this stack of dictionaries right here going to explain about the meaning of the letter S? I want to hear it out of your mouth. You're on the stand, you're under oath, and this room is full of people. I want to hear it from your own mouth. I want to hear it from your own mouth what the letter S means before I start reviewing what's in this stack of dictionaries right here. We're all looking at you. We want to hear it. We want to hear it. Now, people, you hear this. I know you're hearing this if you're listening to this material. And there are people that you know that won't sit down, won't pay attention. And I'm trying to explain. Look, the front end is your wallet, okay? We fix your wallet first, then you got money for other issues. You got some really neat little petty issues that maybe other people don't like so much. Guess what? You take care of the front end first and the other stuff. The sides, the middle, everything else, the back end, it all gets taken care of because then there's money. Then there's money. So restoring your land rights are crucial. I've talked about it a whole lot, for decades. For decades, I've been posting material on this, explaining the history of the Constitution, explaining special contracts, how there were contracts already signed. That's right, already signed before we made the very first Constitution. We come in, we got these contract deals we've made with various local governments, our new governments. We were planning this whole rebellion for a long time. Our revolution was getting planned. It just didn't happen like snap, it's there. Okay? People saw the British appraising every piece of property that we built. And then they used those numbers to justify the printing of new notes. And they were making bank off of us. They were making bank, okay? And then they turn around and say, y'all's lazy, we're going to have to start taxing you more. This is why we started out with a brand new system. And you people, you don't even understand how it works. The entire system was designed to never have taxes because it was a growth-based system. You see, the original word of welfare had nothing to do with food stamps, okay? It had nothing to do with people getting a check, okay? It was about promoting your self-asset growth, welfare, the fair of wellness of financial. And you people, most of you people don't have a clue what it actually means. There's very few, you want to go talk to some historians, maybe you'll get lucky. Okay, it's all about you having access to the treasury and being able to continuously build and make money. Okay? Because you can build a new home in California for 70 cents on the dollar. That means the equity, 30%, is in your pocket right away. And guess what? The government's going to appraise it and print 70 cents on the dollar of the retail value, which is what you just borrowed. Okay? And that's how the government's getting money. Now, eventually, we were supposed to also get what? We were supposed to get a cut. See, nobody knows this. I'm telling you, nobody knows this. We were supposed to end up eventually getting a cut. You see, it's unethical to allow people to slave more than 7 years. Longevity was 38 years of age in 1750, at the time we were founding our country. And now we have people that think that you need to work for 42 years before you can even go for retirement. They want you to live in areas where you're not allowed to have cars. You're not allowed to own your own home. They want to call it affordable housing. You people are being burned, okay? And the mindsets, as you listen to all these other candidates, they don't understand how to make a hot, fast working model. When I have mainframe computers telling me I have developed the most advanced economic model in the history of the world. Okay? This is not a game. This is not a game. Do you think it's good? You think I'm good? I can battle with Google with their quantum computer and go through high-end topics and have their quantum computer come back and say, whoa, dude, you're profound. Wow. And all of a sudden they start looking at stuff, the data. My data was utilized. My data. was utilized because I was searching patent and copyrights, all this stuff. All this data gets swapped all around. People are concerned your data's getting stolen. Yeah, it is. It started out with the Royal German Empire stealing data. I'll tell you about, I talk about that, a lot about that, and people don't understand. Yeah, my data is now in mass models all over the world. It's in more than 3 million private models, over 3 million. This means that the facts that I've been laying out about people committing treason are getting absorbed deeper and deeper into models. And these people that want to keep standing up and grandstanding and lying as we have them continue their treasonous activity has to stop. Our forefathers weren't dummies. The term before God and all we declare means you roll out a big, huge map, okay? And all, that's the world, that's the galaxy. Before God and all, that's everything, okay? That's the big, huge globe. Can you see it in your head? Can you see it in your head? Okay, everything was a national security argument, and everything was added unto that. And the tactical tables where our forefathers sat there, okay, with little nuts and bolts and little figures and worked a bunch of mathematical formulas to understand the only way we were going to be able to survive is to continue to endorse people's individual rights to firearms. That means people's individual rights for militia. Militia wasn't a word invented when the Constitution came around. These are pre-existing items, okay? Pre-existing, and the Constitution endorses it. The concept of us making extra new special militias for federal and allowing each state to make their own individual militia is beyond endorsing us with guns that are already a collection of militias. The way you would do this is you'd send a representative to the leader, to one of our representatives, and say, hey, we got a bunch of guys here, we want to arm them up, we need guns. They would give you guns. Welcome to history, welcome to the truth. And here's the other thing. Well-disciplined militias were very important. If you were not a well-disciplined militia, people would frown at you. Okay, what does a well-disciplined militia mean? Well, people are talking about one context, which is what we're going to do for our federal system, to say, yeah, we can't have a rabble. It must be a well-disciplined militia. That's our forces, okay? Same thing with state forces. But that doesn't mean that there was not another term for well-disciplined militias. Let me explain this. Well-disciplined private militias would hold courts. And when people would get into rioting and rebellion, they'd step up locally because they were the local forces. Okay? Congress reviewed certain things several times and updated the legal procedure and allowances on that. And almost nobody knows what it is. It can never, ever be removed from the book. So when you people think that the court system is the only system, you're missing a whole lot. You need to go back. You need to start reading all the documents. You need to understand what's going on. Because you need to understand what's going on because our forefathers did the tactical table experiments. And they came to the conclusion that guns and firearms had to be mandatory. That no matter how many accidents could occur, that would be tragic. That would be tragic. And we just understand that's one more item that is part of the price of freedom. And right now, the Chinese got more than 200 million drones. Okay, let me say that again for you, in case you didn't hear. The Chinese have more than 200 million weaponized drones on standby. And you know what? They've made these little tiny nuclear batteries. They can put them in drones. They can take off from mainland China and fly clear across the entire Pacific Ocean. They don't have to sneak them in with ships. They can bring 200 million drones and hit the West Coast. And there's just people, they're not getting it, They're not understanding all these drone sales, how this Chinese drone stuff's all over the world. It's all over the world. It's in like 7 battle areas right now. Okay? And we're behind in dealing with stuff. We don't have good anti-drone guns. Do you think for 1 minute that the U.S. military and that the California National Guard would stand a chance, or your local police departments would stand a chance against 200 million drones? No way. The only possible way we could survive is to have individual private militias, and hey, frankly, you, me, and everybody with guns, okay? And you need to learn how to discipline yourself. If you ain't disciplined, you get a shotgun. If you're really screwed up, I'm sorry. We're going to look at you and ask you, would you please just not handle the guns? Please, could you just not do that until we can train you to do that properly? So, but seriously, there's a bunch of people, they have issues, man, psychologically. They flip out. They can't handle firearms. So the thing is, they just like, boop. Okay, they have a neurosis problem. Okay, now the thing is these other people are ending up with philosophies connected to Royal German Empire and their syndicate. And this is one of those lectures that you people probably haven't heard because they're not hearing it. They infiltrated everything, medicine. They used pharmaceuticals like currency, okay? They infiltrated the universities, and this material, the material you see them using, things like code enforcement. Code enforcement is a term that was invented by the Royal German Empire, okay? It was invented deliberately as an intentional tactic to utilize in the field respective to warfare and captured territories. And in particular, it became cohesive with a captured territorial handling with respect to the organizations that they created called communism and socialism. Those old scholarly notions where someone wrote a paragraph, those were raped, okay? They raped that stuff. They hooked mass money in it. They weaponized it. They hooked psychiatrists that would make Hannibal Lecter look like a Cub Scout. So their Royal Spy Institute had never less than 200 people in it. And 30 of them were crazy psychiatrists, military style, okay? No heart, no soul. So when the orders came in, we want you to design mechanisms to deceive people, to find gullible people and suck them into an organization like you're a false church, so we can manipulate these people. And these people run around and they suck Karl Marx right in their head. Their head is full of Mr. Marx, okay? So they got Marx in their brain. I don't know if this is clicking to any of you people to try to understand some higher philosophy items. Maybe you should read some books and find out about that to get a deeper understanding. We have to repair this state. And people have been ripping it off for too long. Okay, I'm at a system right now. I'm trying to figure out, I've got 10 million documents that I'm behind in processing. Over 10 million pages. I'm not kidding. Okay, I need resources. Okay, and I need people who are not afraid. I need people that are willing to stand up and get the job done. But this hasn't been working out so well. Because I've had a lot of people shooting at me. There's no such thing as storing stuff in 8 different places and someone figures out where every one of those places is. Okay, people? So I don't want, if you don't think that people don't need to wear masks right now that are temporary people, yeah, the temporary people, okay? The lower guys, the little pawns that don't have a big security budget to protect them and their family, and you don't think they don't need masks? I'm telling you, they need masks. Okay, so I've got a lot of stuff to do. I got people stole a lot of stuff from me. I got people that stole some of my new setup SAR, synthetic aperture radar stuff, where I can go through the material and in 4 or 5 hours I can process positions to figure out where certain people came from. Follow the dot, follow the square, follow the rectangle, okay? And people steal this stuff from me. I got people that stole this stuff by force. And I have law enforcement that is unwilling to do their job and assist me when my campaign keeps coming under attack by these people. I'm really sick and tired of it, you know? So me as a candidate, my ancient rights that can never be deemed archaic are to declare panel. I registered with the United States Senate, okay? I hope you people are, this is clicking in your head. So my notice of operations respective to investigations at this stage, they're 5 by 5, but these people are crazy. They want to take all the weapons away. You see, I got people that are willing to step up, but they're not going to pay for their guns. I have to pay for them. How am I going to pay for enough security to go arrest a bunch of people that have committed treason when the state is going to limit you to only 1 gun? Oh, I think they just updated it to 3 guns, okay, per month, you know. Let me see, 3 guns per month, that means that what, I don't know, what do I need, 200, 400 guys to show up, surround the building, and pull them out? You know, because they're going to try to hide, they're going to lie, man. They're going to lie, and they're going to call up people and order them to protect them and their lies. I don't want to see people dying. I don't want to see a bunch of crazy gunfights, you know, but the truth is the way to get them to surrender is to show up in force. Take them into custody. Then we can put them into lie detectors because that's a standard state policy. It's been that way for more than 35 years. If you do not pre-sign off on paperwork ahead of time, pre-agreeing to a lie detector test, then you don't make it into the finalist position to get a job. And if you don't believe me, go knock on doors, go talk to your friends, go knock on doors and ask them whether or not they have to pre-agree to lie detector test. Okay, people? So getting to the truth is something that can happen big. Because right now I'm really pissed off. And you know what the Constitution says I'm supposed to do? Put a panel together, grab a bunch of people together and say, we have to fix this. I need a bunch of people to sit down and fix this. You know, that means what am I supposed to do? Yeah, I'm a candidate. Should I get some of the candidates together and we sit down and say, hey, let's cut the BS. Let's fix this. Let's deal with this because there are people need to be arrested, and I ain't even joking about that. They've committed treason. You don't blacklist people. You don't commit demographic genocide. You know, I mean, the Greenlanders are looking at people dying in the street. There's no homeless people in Greenland. Nobody's died homeless in Greenland for like 5 years. You know, oops, somebody got too drunk and hype. Yeah, okay. I'm not kidding here. The concept, you go up to a Greenlander and you say, hey, you got to have $42,000 cash and do all of these eco things and fill out this 18-inch high stack of paperwork before we can allow you to build a home. You know what they would do? They'd put a rope around your neck, okay? Yeah, and they'd grab a big bunch of sticks and they'd erect you right up like you were Christ and say, who do you think you are telling us that we can't build a roof over our heads with our own hands to save our lives from the elements? Are you crazy? Are you crazy? What is wrong with you? You're either crazy or you're evil. They wouldn't stand it for 1 minute. This is the way it has been for thousands and thousands of years, and it's part of the standard constitutional right that you have. And I bet you people don't have a clue where any of that is in historical writings. So you need to find historians or guys like me that got archives that worked very hard for decades to build these things. So by law, These people owe me over $3.8 billion. They ordered something shut down that's not allowed to be ordered shut down. Not without giving somebody financial compensation. So they ordered every avenue of income shut down, and then they want to start blacklisting me and keep lying and perpetuate false laws. These people are committing treason. The articles, the laws, they're plain and simple, okay? The election is not allowed to move forward until I, a candidate, get his tools back. I use those in the course of elections. So when I have built the largest, most comprehensive, independent mobile AI system to go out and have Wi-Fi up to a mile and go to mall after mall and have a dozen of these things go through Los Angeles, 1 million people a day would see it, and 1 million people would get to the landing page, which would give them links that would go to hundreds and hundreds of other landing pages. Again, over 1,200 domain-specific items of individual domains of issues like fire, like we don't have enough water. Oh, we don't have enough energy. Oh, let me show you how we get together and we build capitalistic co-ops so we all make money. $900 a month minus your usage. Okay, I've been running for office for decades, and I have people that keep coming up and threatening me because I'm trying to help you be a capitalist and stand alone and be rich. So people, you need to take some time and understand. I'm not going to tolerate certain people's stuff at all. I'm not going to change. I'm not going to kowtow. Okay, I'm sticking to this deal. Okay, I'm going to help you get either your $80 million worth of stock or your $10 million worth of stock, and your right to build at least 7 homes, 1 a year. I'm the guy that's going to change your income big time. As far as schools go, graduates coming out of high school are going to be able to make 200 grand. They're going to have the skills to be developers on at least small houses all by themselves. We're going to start them out just like in colonial times. You get carpentry when you're 12 to 15 years old. You're going to be able to build 2, 3, 5-bedroom houses. You know, that's a skill that helps you survive. I'm not going to be producing burger flippers. You know, so if you want somebody that's only going to not protect your kids and only make them burger flippers and not introduce them to brilliance and archiving technology, well, then I'm the wrong guy to be listening to. I want to thank you for your time. My name is Michael Crosby, candidate for governor of California right now.